Bitcoin was kind of like the missing piece of this homesteading prepping journey that I've been on for the last 10 years. I was trying to become, before I knew about Bitcoin, become as sovereign as possible,
Mhm.
trying to generate my own food and generate my own power and have really overlapping access to clean water and, just trying to take responsibility for all of these things in my life. And the money was something where I couldn't see a way. Before I knew about Bitcoin, I was like, there's no real way for me to what I'm not going to switch to trying to transact with people in silver and gold coins.
Mhm.
That's ridiculous. And so I basically resorted to trying to a mindset of trying to use or need money as little as possible. So therefore I wouldn't have to rely on it so much. And
Mhm.
once I found Bitcoin, the whole script flipped on its head, where I was like, "Oh my goodness, this is something that is going to empower people to now." It's basically supercharged everything that I'm doing here in the homestead because now I can
Mhm.
actually save in a money that I know is mine and it can't be taken from me and it can't be debased. Um, it's true, and so with that comes the purchasing power, and so now I'm trying to focus on using the fiat money less, as little as possible, and instead of there's just this void of like barter in between. Now I get to try and integrate Bitcoin into my lifestyle as much as possible. And so this the where the meetups come in is that this is where people who want to use their Bitcoin as money can find market access to the daily goods and services that they might need. This is why food is a great example of something to start and bootstrap a Bitcoin circular economy with, because every month I'm coming to the meetup and every month everybody needs more food. You eat it and then you replace it, right? And if a lot of people are starting to produce food products, then you basically are just trading the food with each other, but using Bitcoin as the medium of exchange. And so that's why I am comfortable going to these meetups in person, because it benefits me. It basically gives me so much more utility for my Bitcoin. Um, if I'm just hodling the Bitcoin and trying to, you know, access this purchasing power, and when shit hits the fan, I'm going to try and spend my way out of it. Well, guess what? I think I'm going to have to spend a lot more Bitcoin in those situations than if I already have a network of people built up and we're already doing these economic trades where we've already got the economy built.
Mhm. So do you feel like compared to, fiat, like how do you price things? Like is it hard to price things in Bitcoin when you know that as a Bitcoiner, do you know how to price things in Bitcoin? Is it hard to decide? Because for me as a hairdresser providing a service to Bitcoiners, I would love to offer services in Bitcoin, but do you give them, I mean, it's almost like because you know where this thing is going, do you charge much less? Do you charge the same as you would in dollar trading terms? Like how does that work for you?
Well, a lot of people suggest, to create an incentive for people to spend their Bitcoin, you give a discount if you pay in Bitcoin.
Mhm.
And that's one way of looking at it. But the way I like to describe it is I actually charge a premium for
Mhm.
fiat. So I actually have a couple short-term rentals at
Mhm.
my homestead here. I built a tiny house, a 20-foot tiny house, and a 10-foot yurt. And I rent those on a nightly basis for people to come access the tourist things that you can do here, the sandy beaches and the wineries and the ecotourism and everything. And so while they're here, I surely shill my maple syrup and whatever homestead goods I have. But those guests, when they're paying in fiat, are paying, $2, $3 more for the same item, and I just price what I actually get what I want
Mhm.
when I price it in Sats at the meetup. And
Okay.
I actually don't price in Sats at the meet. I actually still denominate everything in dollars. I think this is just kind of a good marketing strategy because people understand
Mhm.
dollar pricing. You know, people while the dollar is inflating and prices are continuously going up, the volatility of the Bitcoin price just isn't conducive to pricing everyday goods in Bitcoin just yet. Now,
Mhm.
on the other hand, if there's an event that I'm going to, like this Lake Satoshi retreat here in outside of Lansing, Michigan, they have that it's the first week of August every year. I think it's August 2nd this year. So that's a weekend event. And when I bring my stuff to sell there, I know that I'm here with my stuff. And maybe the price of Bitcoin can move a few percent over the course of the weekend or whatever. But I just tack on an exact sat amount, 20K sats, 10K sats for this or
Mhm.
that. And so depending on the situation, I'm either denominating my prices in dollars or sats.
Yeah, that's a really great way to do it. I think it's true because people aren't used to it's hard to wrap your head around, the sat price. So it's just something we're already used to use dollars. And I love that. I love to just if you're using fiat, you just pay a premium. That's perfect. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna adopt that strategy. So yeah, I think that it's really great that you are, bringing these things to that meetup that you're talking about. What is it called again? The one in August?
Lake Satoshi.
Lake Satoshi. So
Yeah,
you go to local meetups in your area, which are located in Michigan. So even if I wanted to join those, that would be great because I'm located in the Chicago area. So traveling isn't that bad for me, so I can make it to the Michigan meetups and we're just kind of this little Midwest Bitcoin family. So yeah, it's really exciting. And you do the maple syrup thing. That's one thing I'm super excited about too, because we were talking last night. We were actually at an event for a Bitcoin co-working space that's opening up in Chicago. And I'm really, really excited about that. It feels like we have this, home for Bitcoiners in the Midwest. And it's going to be a restaurant, but it's going to be a place for marketplace type things where you could bring your stuff there and sell things and just for education and learning and but it's a restaurant, so it's a cool place for us to hang out and get together, host events. But there was a pre-event last night that we were both at and you were telling me about your maple syrup and I learned so much just from talking to you for a short time about how you do it. And I was fascinated because you told me that you pretty much use Bitcoin mining heat for the maple syrup making process. And that was amazing because not only would I be buying maple syrup in Bitcoin from you, but knowing that it was Bitcoin mining heat that helped produce that was amazing.